What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back, Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. All right, check it out. Let's talk about my man Errol Spence. Errol the True Spence. I'm a huge fan of Errol Spence. Massive fan of Errol Spence. But it's a guy that thinks that for some reason, if Errol Spence has uh, announced fights, that he would be number one pound for pound. Well, that guy is none other than Fannon. Fannon, you idiot. Let me tell you like this, Fannon. See, I don't like you guys spreading these stupid narratives because you guys have a lot of fans that want to learn about boxing and they can't even learn anything listening to you, Fannon. You idiot. Because that's what you are. You're an idiot. For even suggesting that fighting Danny Garcia and going on to fight a Sean Porter in a rematch could propel Errol Spence to number one pound for pound Fannon. You idiot. Because, listen, again, I'm a super huge fan of Errol Spence, but let's be real about it. To this day, Errol Spence's best fight is Sean Porter. Prior to that, he won the belt off of Kell Brook. Two decent fights, although some people have an asterisk on that fight. Me personally, I don't. But people have an asterisk on that fight because Kell Brook went up 2 weight classes to face Gennady Golovkin and got his orbital socket broken, beaten to a pulp. And since he went to fight at 160, he had to kind of cut weight back to 147, which is not an easy thing to do. Could have been somewhat drained. And that's who Errol Spence beat. But those are the two best fights on his resume, Fannon. You idiot. So with that being said, Errol Spence is collecting belts off of both of those guys. Two champion, unified titles. I think Errol Spence is doing a phenomenal job. One thing about it is he's going to have the 147-pound division. Fannon, you idiot. And so when you think about the guys that's in the top 5 now, I don't know everyone's list, but I'll give you mine. I'd say like Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Bud Crawford, Naoya Inoue, Monster Inoue, no particular one. Alexander Usyk. See, these guys are the top guys. These are the guys that still Lomachenko. These are the guys that get the praise for being the top 5. But here's the thing, Fannon. You idiot. What do we do? What can Spence do at 147 to propel himself above those guys? To become number one pound for pound. Well, Fannon, you idiot. First and foremost, I would think he would have to go snatch that belt from Manny Pacquiao. He would have to win this fight with Danny Garcia. And then I think he should probably go snatch that belt from Terrence Crawford. But simply beating Danny Garcia, giving Sean Porter a rematch, and then going over there and beating up Pacquiao, Fannon, that's not enough to put him at number one pound for pound. You idiot! Because see, 2 of those names that I gave you, Fannon, they've already completed 4-belt undisputed. Not 3 belts, 4 belts. They've also competed in more than 1 weight class. And I'm talking Terrence Crawford and Alexander Usyk. Now, although Alexander Usyk has only had 1 fight thus far at heavyweight, he's still competed. He's transitioned to another weight class. Whereas Spence has found all his glory at 147 Fannon. You idiot. So by your assessment, Fannon, by your flawed assessment, your narrative that you push to your members in your chat, and if Errol Spence was to go on and beat Danny Garcia, and then Errol Spence was to go on and give Sean Porter a rematch, and then take the belt off of Manny Pacquiao, well, then that's enough to propel Errol Spence to #1 pound for pound. As a Spence fan, a huge Spence fan, I have to tell you, Fanon, you idiot. It will not propel Errol Spence to #1 pound for pound, you idiot. Because see, for him to get past some of these guys, say Monster Nui, who's accomplishing multiple weight divisions, and also seeking 4-belt undisputed after accomplishing championships at his weight division. Alexander Usyk, who has already completed 4-belt undisputed. Canelo Alvarez, who pretty much has the best resume next to Manny Pacquiao in boxing. You idiot. Okay, and then Monster Naoya, who at a young age is achieving multiple 3-division champion already, and he's also unified belts, such as Errol Spence, you idiot. And then let's talk about a Vasily Lomachenko, who's done an awesome amount of things and many fights. Beating Danny Garcia, getting Sean Porter a rematch, and beating a 41, which will probably be 42-year-old Pacquiao by the time they fight. It's not enough to propel Errol Spence, my guy Errol Spence, to #1 pound for pound for you idiot. See, these are the things that I have to bring to the table. These are the false narratives that I don't want the new boxing fans to hear. You have to accomplish more. You cannot simply move across, jump over top of guys who have accomplished more for you idiot. If you're accomplishing more in multiple divisions, multiple weight classes, if you're doing that, and you have more titles than Errol Spence, you fought more champions than Errol Spence, then that means you have accomplished more and you have proven more than Errol Spence. Although he's my guy, you're an idiot. Because it takes more than him beating Danny Garcia, which is not valid, in my opinion. It takes more than him beating Sean Porter in a rematch and then Manny Pacquiao. What he would have to do for us to have this discussion, and I'll give you this, could be a discussion to have because it's always about what you've done for me lately. But it's one important name that you left out of there, Baldy. And that important name is Terrence Bud Crawford, to complete 4-belt undisputed. And then we can have the conversation about my guy Errol Spence being #1 pound. You idiot. But it would still be a conversation because, again, you also have a guy on there who has completed undisputed, but he also has multiple weight classes under his belt. You also have a guy on there that is in lieu of competing in 4-belt undisputed, and he also has multiple weight divisions under his belt. Terrence Crawford and Naoya Inoue. And then you have Alexander Usyk, who has completed 4-belt undisputed, and he's up in heavyweight, and he's in prime position to earn a title at heavyweight. And what I want to ask you, Fanon, is if Spence did go on to beat Danny Garcia on Porter rematch, and then get a 3rd belt, not completing 4-belt undisputed, how does that put him at #1 pound for pound? And he's done that all within the same weight class, unlike these other guys. You idiot. Oh, you're an idiot. And any day and time, you can come over here and click the link if you don't really like what I say. Have a sports debate about it. Doesn't have to be irate. No worries. I won't kick you off. I won't have my members in the chat hide your comments. No, we'll have a reasonable sports debate. You get a chance to talk. I'll get a chance to talk. We'll share our views. And we'll let everyone decide if you are or you're not the idiot that I think you are. And you can always come over here and debate this, Fanon. I doubt that you will because I've been calling you out for a while. It doesn't seem you want to step up to the challenge. But one thing's for sure, 2 things for certain, Fanon. You've been thinking that that's all it would take for Errol Spence to be pound for pound #1. This is why you're the special guest of this episode of You Idiot. So, guys, it would take Errol Spence leading completing the 4-belt undisputed. And we could probably have that discussion. I do think that it would be valid and fair for Errol Spence to move into the top 5. But to talk about number 1, we would have to see what the other guys on the list have done at that time that Errol Spence finally decided to fight Crawford. Because it's very possible that Monster Inouye would have completed 4-belt undisputed. It's very possible that even a Josh Taylor or Jose Ramirez would have completed 4-belt undisputed to another weight class. It's very possible by the time Spence gets this done that Alexander Usyk may find a way to capture a heavyweight title. And it's also possible that Canelo may continue to achieve and accomplish the way he's achieving. And of course, he would have beaten Terence Crawford, so I wouldn't put him in there. But then you also have a guy named Roman Gonzalez, Chocolatito. I think he's on Errol Spence right now on the pound. And so if these guys keep doing the things that they're doing, we know how long it takes the PBC to get any fight done. So it's, quite a decent assumption to think that these guys are going to continue to do the things they're doing as well, Fannon. It's a good chance that even if Errol Spence completed what you said and beat Terence Crawford, he still may not be number 1 pound for pound. You idiot! But he's definitely not going to be considered that, just beating Danny Garcia, giving Sean Porter a rematch, and beating Pacquiao. No, sir. No, sir. He would be in the top 10 and somewhere in that lower range. But pound for pound, number 1, no, he would not be Fannon. You idiot. So thank you guys for joining and, listening to the breakdown and what's the truth about this pound for pound. Listening to this idiot. And y'all know how I always in this thing. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace.